Hello everybody, Sawyer's Comic Book Reviews here with a review for Marvel's The Invaders #1, 2019. This is I was excited to see this because I didn't really think that I didn't think there was really a need or really an urgency for an Invaders book, but I still welcomed it because I've always liked the idea. I've never really read a lot of Invaders books, but I am a sucker for Golden Age, stuff, World War II set stories, and I'm really a sucker for exploring the golden era of of Marvel and DC, especially DC. But Marvel kind of has their golden age is it doesn't have as much to it. It's not as deep. So whenever they actually explore it, it's really interesting. It's like kind of like DC, they do it all the time, but Marvel, they don't really dig deep into their golden age as much. So it's always refreshing. But the first thing you'll notice from this cover is that this looks like a more modern team because obviously Namor looks different than what he normally does in the Golden Age stories, and Bucky is obviously the Winter Soldier in this cover. He's got his mechanical arm and all that. And this book is definitely set. It's set in present day, but it does jump back and forth between memories and flashbacks of the war, and that's kind of the cool stuff of the issue. I mean, the issue overall is actually pretty good, but it definitely is jumping back and forth between two narratives, and I did really enjoy that actually. First I thought it was just when I first heard the name, I thought it was just gonna be a World War II story, but I do enjoy that it's two different timelines, and you're both learning stuff from each timeline. The timelines are helping tell the story in a better way. The stuff in the past comes back in the present. I do enjoy that. So the issue mostly focuses on Namor the Submariner, which I know he's not the biggest Marvel character. I mean, he is a very iconic Marvel character since he's one of the first, but he's not like a character that we really see in the mainstream Marvel stuff all that often. He's definitely never been in any movies like the MCU or anything like that. But it was cool to see a story focused on Namor because I haven't really had a whole lot of experience with reading Namor's stories. But I've always kind of liked him. To me, he's always been the more edgier, more angry Aquaman. Even though Aquaman has been edgy and angry in certain stories, but Submarine's always had that consistent badassery to him. So I do enjoy that. This story basically focuses on in the past. The past storyline focuses on a battle with Nazis in which Namor is trying to protect one of his. He has these two human friends in the army that he's become very, very attached to. They're his best friends, and one of them gets captured behind enemy lines. So Namor goes to save him, but Namar's been out of the water for so long that he's become very weak. And just in the moment when he needs to save the guy, he gives out, and the Nazis kill him, which of course makes him angry. And we see that the death of this human soldier really affects Namor. It really gets under his skin. It makes him question everything he believes about military and himself and fighting in wars and stuff, and it really it really affects him. Especially in this panel here when we see him getting drunk and making out with human women, trying to forget about the death of his friend that just happened, and Captain America has to come and try to snap him out of it, try to keep him back on track, and tries to he's missing the funeral for his friend, and Cap's like, this is your last chance to remember him, to and whatever, we need to honor him. And Namor gives this really cool speech about what am I even doing? I go in these battlefields, I'm fighting your war, but all I'm really doing is protecting one bag of water from being punctured by another bag of water, which is cool because he's basically referring to humans as bags of water, and that they get punctured by getting killed. They're so easy. They're so basically saying humans are so incredibly fragile that what's the point of even doing it? It seems like a useless errand. So I really like how that you can tell the grief is really getting to him in his own way. He's I love. He has another great line where he basically says something along the lines of you don't cry over dropped eggs, do you? You don't have memorials for dropped eggs, do you? You just clean it up. I love that. I love the way he's expressing himself throughout this flashback stories. While the present day story mostly focuses on Namor basically going to war with the humans again, like always, but this time he's gotten some new powers somehow. I'm not sure where he got these powers at, but now he can manipulate water and stuff. He's become much more powerful. He's also getting really aggressive and kind of losing his mind basically is what all his followers are saying. And he wants a war to end all wars. He basically gives a speech about how no one why would no one's gonna fight, no one's gonna die if there's no enemy to fight. So first we have to take all the enemies out, and then we'll have no more bloodshed, which is just an insane philosophy to have anyway. But it's really cool. I do like the way this book is written. The book has some really kind of smart writing. At least to me, I felt like it was a good smart writing. I enjoyed it. The art's good. It does it changes dramatically when it goes to the World War II stuff to the present day stuff. I'm actually more of a fan of the past drawing art style than I am the present day art style, especially Namor. Like Namor, the way he's drawn right here I don't like it, but it's whatever. As far as other characters in the story, Captain America is pretty much the second most prominent character. He's basically trying to defuse the situation. He's on the Avengers side, and they're getting ready to gear up to fight Namor. But Captain America doesn't really want to fight Namor, but he knows if he has to, he's going to have to. But he is trying to find a peaceful solution out of it, of course. And Bucky's in the issue, but he pops up at the very end. He's not very prominent. He'll be in the next issue. I honestly can't wait for him to flame on. That'd be really cool. So all in all, this was a good issue. I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked the art was good. It is a little distracting how it shifts between, but it's okay. I like the characterizations, the way the characters are written. The dialogue is pretty good. Overall, the story it's kind of a slow burn so far. It's definitely building up to something. The issue ends with a pretty interesting dynamic and a thing that comes up. There's also a kind of a smaller side story where the Human Torch, the original android Human Torch, is he's writing a book about the invaders, like memoirs kind of thing, and he's getting information from Captain America and stuff. Captain America even has kind of a funny dialogue with him. He's basically like, "You're an android. I thought you would remember all this. Like it'd be like framed in your mind." And Human Torch basically explains that his creator wanted him to be as human as possible, so he made it so that the Human Torch can forget things. And he gives basically talks about how forgetting is a big part of being human. It allows you, to realize what's important and to basically stabilize your mind and stuff. It's really kind of cool dialogue. I liked it. But his purpose in the story in this issue is he's mostly like a narrator, kind of getting information and bringing it to us. He's interviewing people. It's kind of a cool little thing. There's also a little bit of a mystery building up. There's information that Human Torch discovers that he doesn't actually know all the details to it, and we don't know all the details either as an audience. And so it's kind of cool because it just raises questions like what's going on, what's the real motives behind Namor and other people. It's really kind of interesting. I don't want to get into it here. I try to keep these reviews. I mean, I spoil a lot of stuff, but I do try to keep these reviews, without the really big reveals and without the really huge stuff. But yeah, I do like this issue. If you like the Invaders, if you like Golden Age stuff, check it out. Even if you don't, I'm sure it's still gonna appeal to you. It is a pretty good book. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys thought of Invaders #1.